Hey, hi all. This is Abhishek. I work as a technical architect with a leading organization. I am an expert in Microsoft .NET, Azure Platform as a Service Cloud, artificial intelligence, intelligent automation, and machine learning. And today we will discuss on how to import data using Azure Machine Learning Studio. Okay, so let's get started. Let me sign into Azure Machine Learning Studio. Please be patient, it will take some time. So here I am, it has opened up. So let me create a blank experiment. Okay, so what we will do today is we will learn about this data input and output modules. So in today's session, specifically we will see enter data manually module, import data module, and unpack zip datasets. We will see different options of how to get in the data into the Azure Machine Learning Studio environment. And once the data is imported into the environment, you will see all the data under saved datasets, my datasets. So here are few of the data that I have imported earlier. And these are the sample data that is already available with Azure Machine Learning Studio. As the first step, let's bring in the data into the Azure Machine Learning Studio environment. Okay, so let me just go to my data folder, and you will see here I have a CSV file named as students.csv, one zip folder as students new zip, and also I have a URL link from where I will download the data. So let me first bring in student CSV file and the zip file in the Azure Machine Learning Studio environment. So for that we need to click on new, go to the dataset, from local file, click on browse, and then student CSV, click on this OK. You see it's uploading those files, I mean the students.csv file. It will take a moment, let's be patient. It's done. So now let's import that zip file into the Azure Machine Learning Studio environment. Same steps, I'll again show it. Click on new, go to dataset, from local file, do a browse, and click on this zip file, click on OK. So now you can see students new.zip is getting imported into the environment. The import is complete. I click on OK. Now let me go to the my datasets, and here you will see the students.csv file that we imported as well as students new.zip. Let me pull in this students.csv file that we have imported into the workspace. So let us visualize what we have imported, and let us reconfirm with the file that we have imported, and it's the same CSV file as you can see here, role name, text tuition, then exam results. Here also, like you see the same headers and the data. So this data can be further used and connected to further modules to proceed on machine learning experiments. Okay, so now let's now do something with the zip file that we have imported. Let me pull in this students new.zip. Then let me get into the data input output modules. Let me just drag and drop on the workspace this unpack zip dataset module. Let me just provide the input of students new.zip to this unpack zip datasets module, and let us run it. It will take some time. Let's be patient. Now let's see what the data it has unpacked. And this is the data that I can see here. Now let us reconfirm. Let me get into the zip file. Let me close this and open this CSV file that was zipped, and we see it's the same data out here. Okay, all good till now. Now let me just clear the workspace so that we'll try the next thing. Let me get back to this data input and output modules. Let me now talk about this import data module. Let me drag it to the workspace, and let us now try to import some data using the web URL via HTTP. Okay, so we need to provide the data source URL, and already I have this URL with me. I will provide all these data files and these URLs as an attachment to the video so that you can practice it yourself. Okay, so I have provided the URL, and also I have specified the format of the data in the URL. Okay, so let me run it. Let's be patient, it will take some time. Okay, import is complete. Let's see what the data we have got. Let's do a visualize. So now let me get into my Azure portal. I have already opened it. So let me get into my storage account demo C# corner that I've already created. Let me just get into the blobs that I have. I have a container named as test, and inside the test container I have a blob students.csv. What we will do is we will import this blob. Let me now get back to the experiment and see what all things we need. And here as a data source I have selected Azure Blob Storage. The authentication type I have selected as storage account. Even you can also give the public or the SaaS URI. That should be absolutely fine. But we will do the storage account. We need to provide the account name, account key, and path to the container directory or the blob. Okay. So let me again get back to my portal, Azure portal, and get these informations. To get the account name and the keys, I need to go to the storage container level. So let me do that. And now let me go to the access keys settings. From here, let me first copy the storage account name and let me paste here. Let me again go back to the portal and copy the access key. Let me come back to my experiment, paste the access key. Now we need to give the path to the container or the blob. So for that, let me again click on the overview. Let me get into the blobs. We see name of the container as test. So we will write here test slash, and let's see what's the name of our blob. It's students.csv. So let's do that. So what I've given here is the name of the container slash the name of the blob. All good. So now let's run it. It will take some time. Let's be patient. The import is complete. Now let's see what the data we have imported. Let me click on visualize. And you see we have imported some data that was there in the blob storage. Okay. So now we learned how to import data from a blob storage. Now let us do the same thing using the Azure Table Storage. Let me again get back to my Azure portal. Let me select my storage account. Let's check what the table I have with me. So let me get inside the tables. So I see I have a table called a sample. Let's try to import this table. Okay. So to import this, we will need the account name and the access key as we did in blob storage. So let me just get into the storage account, get into the access keys, copy the storage account name. Let me get back to the experiment. Let me get back to the Azure portal. Let me copy the keys. Let me again get back to the experiment and copy the key, access key. Let me now provide the table name, that is sample. Okay, all good. So let me run this module. Okay, now the import is complete. Let's visualize what it has imported. It has imported some data from the sample table, and I have connected to the Azure Storage Explorer, and you can see like the same set of data out here as well. Okay, all good till now. We also have other type of data imports, like for example, we can import data from other sources, like from a Hive query, from SQL database, from on-premises SQL database, or a Azure Document DB. And they're very simple, like just like we did for the Azure table or the Azure blob storage or for a web URL. So we need to provide the needed information. Like for example, for Azure SQL database, we need to provide the server name, the database name, the username and password. And also we need to give the database query. So based on the query, the select statement you will be writing, the data would be fetched from the database and it will get imported. Do try the other options. They are simple and I'm pretty sure you will be able to do it. And if you have any queries in those areas, so do write back to me. I'll definitely help you. I'll be happy to help you there. Okay. So now let's evaluate another module, that is enter data manually. And intentionally I kept it in the end because it would be the simplest of all the modules that we have discussed till now. Okay, I have dragged this enter data manually module to our workspace. Now let me just enter the data. So manually I can enter data here, like for example Sam is age is 22. Then okay, let me just provide it with the header. Like I'll just create a CSV. We can select the data format out here. So I have selected CSV out here. So let me first enter the header, name, age and sex. So I pressed an enter to come to the next row. Name is Sam, age is say 22, sex is male. Then another row, name is Ajay, age is 32 and male. Let me just add one more row. Name is Rohit, age is 24, sex is male. And one last row. Name is Aditi, age is 22, sex is female. Okay. So now let me run this module. What this module does is like it helps us in entering the data manually so that we can provide the manually entered data further to the experiment. So let me just run it. It will take some time. Yep, the run is complete. So let me visualize. So you can see whatever we had inserted manually through keystrokes. So it's all being displayed here. So we could manually enter some data directly in the environment, the machine learning Azure Machine Learning Studio environment, without providing any kind of files or importing any data from the Azure Blob Storage. And this option is also there available with Azure Machine Learning Studio. Okay, this is what I had planned for today, and we have completed it. So in the next session, I will speak about export data. Stay tuned. Meet you soon. And thanks for being patient.